believes that we should ever have a gold money again before we take the thing out of the hands of government.
Yo, guys, looks like we're having some issues with the stream, unfortunately. Oh, it looks like it's streaming. It looks like it's working now. Guys, welcome to Simply Bitcoin. We're your number one source for the Bitcoin revolution. I got my co-host with me today. Pretty stressful this is. Oh man, it looks like it created another event. Let me see if I can get it to the original stream.
Just keep it rolling, Nico. Just keep it rolling.
We only got 4 people in here, bro.
People will see it. What's up, Xdemos? What's up, Diogenes? We have people in the spaces. Just keep it rolling, and we'll figure it out for tomorrow, bro. We even have a nice thumbnail and stuff, and I think they'll figure it out. We're live, bro. We got people in here. Let's just get the show going.
We're live. Guys, we're sorry. It's live. You know, we're going to make mistakes. Anyways, let's get to the numbers. For
number time.
Brought to you by Nodl. They make some of the best Bitcoin nodes, like the Nodl One, the one I'm holding in my hand. Run your own version of Bitcoin Core, the Lightning Network, Whirlpool, and Dojo, all from the comfort of your own home. Remember, guys, if you don't run your own node, like the Nodl, you're using someone else's. And now, if you are a digital nomad, you have no excuse, because the Nodl guys just released Nodl Cloud. Run a Nodl through a virtual private server. Visit nodl.eu. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Looks like there's people coming in. We got 11 people. We had 20 people waiting in the other room.
We got someone I think it's Lucas. Oh no, John. He said he'll go back to the old link and tell people the new link. So hopefully people will start rolling in soon. Yeah, but we're live. Let's get into it, Nico.
We're live. We're 15 people. All right, we're coming in. Guys, I'm so sorry about that. Restream kind of gave me a curveball this morning. Anyways, I got very special stuff for you guys today. People are waking up to the fact that the problem is the Fed. The problem is central banking. There's this great awakening, right? There's mainstream podcasters that are awaking to this. There's Jack Posobiec, there's Tim Pool, right? And Steve Bannon. You put the politics aside. We're not political on Simply Bitcoin, but let's just say he has a big following, and he dropped this insane nuke of a speech on over the weekend at CPAC, and I really wanted to play it for you guys, but it wasn't only that. Like, check this out. Check out all this stuff, right? So Jack Posobiec tweeted this. He said, abolish it. Obviously, he's referencing the Fed, and yes, that is Steve Bannon with laser eyes. Jack Posobiec also tweeted this. He says, if you don't understand how it works, start with Rule 11. What if the bank runs out of money? Some players think the bank is bankrupt if it runs out of money. The bank never goes bankrupt. Obviously, he is talking about the Federal Reserve. And let's check out his speech. Opti, it's going to rile you up. Let's check it out.
One last thing. The biggest scam they have, the biggest con, is not just the appropriations process and how they fund it. It's the Federal Reserve. Okay? 0.5% of the citizens of this country own more assets than the bottom 90%. That's all happened over the last 10 years since 2008. We took a monetary base of back in the 80s of $800 billion. The balance sheet of the Fed was $880 billion under President Bush, right? Balance sheet of the Fed is $9.5 trillion today. The debt's $30 trillion. We have $100 to $150 trillion of contingent liabilities, all just because we're the prime reserve currency. The greatest export we have is the dollar. But all of that rests on the shoulders of our children and our grandchildren. Those are all due bills that are come due. All we've done is we've just cranked everything up. That's why they're talking about these ridiculous, insane bills of trillions of dollars, because the Federal Reserve will print the money. The Federal Reserve, by the way, that's owned not by the American people, a central bank that's owned by 24 prime brokers, being J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. And how does that work? and governors that kind of selected, but 12 years. And the best governor we've had in the Federal Reserve right here in Dallas, Richard Fisher, who told you what was going to happen by going to negative interest rates, told you what was going to happen by printing all this money and having $4, $5, $6 trillion, $7 trillion, $8 trillion, now $9 trillion on the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve. It's going to cause, you talk inequality, it's not a $15 minimum wage, that's tip money. We have, I think M2 today is what, 22 or 23 trillion dollars. That's how the administrative state pays for itself. We don't need to audit the Fed. We need to end the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve has usurped its power and the power of the American people and our elected representatives. And no, they do not have the consent of the governed. We will not comply. We will not submit, and it must be ended. In closing, let me just remind you, from the founding of this nation up to the founding of the Federal Reserve, for those 100 years, Hamilton versus Jefferson, Andrew Jackson, Abraham Lincoln, Henry Clay, Teddy Roosevelt, William Jennings Bryan, the whole concept of 19th century is almost entirely the politics of money. It was actively debated what the currency was. Who controlled the currency? What was a central bank? Who controlled the central bank? After the Federal Reserve was formed, we've lost that. That is going to be one of the, if not the most major issue we have. We have to end the Federal Reserve. We have to turn it back. That central bank is going to be owned by one group. You know who that group is? The American people. The American people. Not a bunch of fat cat prime brokers on Wall Street. Not guys like, not third-tier bankers from fifth-tier firms like Powell. You're going to have the American people control their own bank and their own currency.
So, dude, incredibly bullish. Put the politics aside. I think his solution is a political solution, whereas in Bitcoiner's solution, separate the money from state. Take it out of any human being's hands. It's not about putting it into the hands of the American people. It's about putting it into hands of no one. Right? That is the beauty of Bitcoin. Beauty is rules without rulers. Hopefully, this political movement wakes up to the fact that there is an alternative. Because before Bitcoin, there was no good alternative to central banking. The gold standard was co-opted by governments. Obviously, it wasn't resilient enough. Bitcoin is resilient enough, and hopefully, this political movement wakes up to that fact. It wakes up to the fact that, hey, there's an alternative. Now, this is what I hope, right? Because unfortunately, what you're seeing is only right-wing individuals. Steve Bannon, extreme right. Jack Posobiec, very right-leaning. Tim Pool, kind of center-right. Hopefully, my goal and my dream is that it becomes a bipartisan movement, which is why we have episodes on Simply Bitcoin about the progressive case for Bitcoin, because it helps both sides. So hopefully, we'll see some progressives basically saying the same message that Steve Bannon is saying, because at the end of the day, guys, central banking is the number one cause of the wealth inequality. Every time they print money, it's a wealth redistribution mechanism from the poor, from the middle class that don't have the means to save in hard assets, in equities, in real estate. They don't have the means, right? They earn and they save in cash. And the wealthy, every time they print money, because they have their money in assets, they benefit from asset inflation. So the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, right? But at least we're halfway there. At least you have some of the figureheads of the new conservative movement saying what Bitcoiners have been saying for the longest time: end the fucking Fed. End the Fed. And you heard that round of applause. You heard it. Now, let's see if he can make the final connection and realize, holy crap, the solution is Bitcoin. That speech made me incredibly bullish. Opti, what do you think, brother?
Well, you First thought is simply, you just can't stop the signal, guys. This is what we say every single day, day in and day out, that the Bitcoin message cannot be stopped. The signal will not be stopped. And man, you were right. I did get pretty hyped. I actually got chills. I know it's political, it's rhetoric, but man, it's like it's happening gif, you know, like what we've been saying is actually coming to fruition. Gradually, then suddenly, the message is being spread out, and people are understanding that the central banks are the problem, that the money is absolutely broken. And if you really want to change the world, then you have to fix the money. And man, it's absolutely refreshing to see, you know, that I'm going to call it rhetoric, that rhetoric being spread out there for people, because we get a lot of shit over here sometimes because people say that we stick to the Bitcoin fundamentals too much, and they say we need to get into the nuance. And I fundamentally tell people, like, look, there's new people getting into Bitcoin. We need to spread the fundamental message that Bitcoin is the way, and sometimes you have to rehash the basics. And I think this is what is happening on a mainstream stage. Like, he is pointing out and highlighting the problem, which we all know is the Federal Reserve or central banks in general. And like Nico said, let's just hope that he can make the connection, or maybe not even him, but the people watching can eventually make the connection that Bitcoin is the solution and that people need to save in Bitcoin. So this is just a gradually then suddenly, and I'm here for this. This is why we show up. This is why we do this, because the signal can't be stopped. Bitcoin is the solution. Bitcoin is, and it's just slowly getting spread out there. And man, this is just bullish. This is bullish in my opinion. Maybe it's a sentimental thing, but our message is getting out there, guys, and continue to double down on spreading that message because people need to hear it.
Absolutely. And what you're seeing, right, is that you're seeing the ideas of Bitcoin becoming mainstream. You're seeing the public awaken to the fact that, holy crap, central banking is a scam. Now, what us Bitcoiners have to co-opt, because I don't know what other word you could use, is, hey, you could end central banking, but what are you going to replace it with, right? And we have, in my opinion, the best solution. I'm going to read a couple comments from the audience, right? You have Andrew Williams that says, the attack on the Fed is a diversion by the U.S. government. They're making the Fed the scapegoats for inflation. Good take. Here is Tucky TY Guy. People making $250K a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. Central banks distort price signals, which make it hard for people to appropriately save and live within their means. Absolutely true. Anyways, guys, we got some good news for you guys today. Let's move on. It's time for
the Daily News.
Brought to you by CryptoCloaks.com. They make some of the best 3D printed Bitcoin merch, like the famous 3D printed Bitcoin grenade toy. It comes in any custom color your heart desires. That's right. You want on Peter Schiff colors? Yeah, it comes in gold, and you can take advantage of the promo code down below to get 5% off if you're in Europe. The European store is now open. Check out CryptoCloaks.com today. All right, guys. So I created a room yesterday because I was so pissed off. Check this out, okay? They caused inflation. Why? They printed too much money. When they caused inflation, now they're redefining, or basically saying there is no inflation, which is a form of redefinition. Not only that, right? You have them, literally, we are in a recession right now if you use the old definition, but of course they redefined it. And not only did they do all these things, they just passed the Inflation Reduction Act. And with the Inflation Reduction Act, I'm not going to get into the intricacies of it, but it prints $700 billion plus dollars. You print more money, what happens? More inflation. But not only that, they also increased tax enforcement. They're hiring 87,000 new IRS agents. So to get you guys a perspective, that number of government bureaucrats is bigger than the people that work at the Pentagon and the FBI. Holy crap. What type of clown world are we living on? And here's a passage from the Sovereign Individual that I think really describes why they're doubling down on increasing taxes and tax enforcement during a recession. What is going on here? And I think this passage from the Sovereign Individual explains it beautifully. It says, lacking their accustomed scope to tax and inflate, governments and even in traditionally civil countries will turn nasty. As income tax becomes uncollectible, older and more arbitrary methods of extraction will resurface. The ultimate form of withholding tax, the de facto or even overt hostage taking, will be introduced by governments desperate to prevent wealth from escaping beyond their reach. Unlucky individuals will find themselves singled out and held to ransom and in almost medieval fashion. Businesses that offer services that facilitate the realization of autonomy by individuals will be subject to infiltration, sabotage, and disruption. Arbitrary forfeiture of property, already commonplace in the United States, where it occurs 5,000 times a year, will become even more pervasive. Governments will violate human rights, censor the free flow of information, sabotage useful technologies, and worse. The last part, sabotage useful technologies. Here is an article by Forbes. It gets into really the details of what is in the Inflation Reduction Act. Mind you, it's called the Inflation Reduction Act, but none of these things are going to reduce inflation. This is more government spending, the government printing more money, which was the sole cause of inflation. It was not the supply chains. It was not the pandemic. It was not Putin. It was not the situation in Russia and Ukraine. It is solely because governments printed a record amount of money. Anyways, this Forbes article breaks down what is in this act. It says the creation of a 15% corporate minimum tax. So more taxes for you. Prescription drug price reform. How do you do that? You subsidize it. Subsidizing requires money. IRS tax enforcement. Closure of carried interest loophole. Affordable Care Act. Subsidy extension. Energy security and climate change investments. I want to go back to the IRS tax enforcement. I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. What does this have to do with me? I'm in Bitcoin. Well, guess what? Part of the act, part of the bill, also specifies digital asset monitoring and compliance activities. The IRS has been working on digital asset compliance for years, but an infusion of funds could allow the agency to rather significantly step up its efforts as well as its criminal investigations. No one is safe here. And I know I see a lot of comments, and the comments are, hey, I pay my taxes. I pay my taxes. I make sure to file every year, follow the rules. Why? I think they're wrong, but I also don't want to go to jail, right? But if you have ever been through an audit, I'm telling you, even if you did nothing wrong, you're going to spend two things. You're going to spend a lot of money proving your innocence, proving you did nothing wrong, and which you can't be, it's not going to be reimbursed. And you're also going to spend something that you could never get back. Time. So yeah, man, this is scary, scary stuff, Opti. I can't believe it, dude. I can't believe it. But that passage from the Sovereign Individual, of course, some of the things haven't happened yet, but it really clarifies. It really gives you a bird eye view of why this is happening. And I think if you connect it with what Bannon was saying in the beginning of the show, the money printer has grown the administrative state to such a size that it keeps trying to milk more and more money out of its citizens. It's going after, this is the unproductive class going after the productive class. This is why we must separate money from state. The incentives are not aligned. Anyways, Opti, what are your thoughts, brother?
Well, first off, I think I need to give you some horns, Nico, because that was on fire. And second thought is, man, I really need to reread The Sovereign Individual. It's been probably about a year, and it's just coming to fruition. Like everything it's saying, slowly but surely, all the predictions are happening. And, I need to brush up on it because I do not have the Nico Jones memory, but it's such an amazing book. Anyways, the amazing meme of trying to print money to stop inflation. Like, are you absolutely kidding me? Does the government think you are this dumb? Do the powers that be think you are this dumb and uninformed? The gaslighting is absolutely insane to me. Like, it's borderline absolutely mental. Like, these people are psychopaths. They literally look at you like cattle. They don't think of you as a human.
They called us psychopaths.
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
projection. That was fucking projection.
It blows my mind, man. Like, the powers that be, or the quote unquote elites, or like someone, I think it was Pravina said in the YouTube chat last week, the parasites at the top are trying to fleece the plebs out there, you, the everyday person, of everything you have, because you already know why. You will own nothing and be happy by 2030. It's absolutely insane. And furthermore, the fact that they're sneaking in taxes, like, you know, different tax rules under this, it's fucking disgusting. Excuse me for you know, losing my shit on YouTube right now. But man, the amount of taxes that they try to get out of you won't ever cover all the money that they're spending. This isn't about not getting enough taxes. It's about the government spending and creating too much money. Like, this is all about control, guys. We tell you this all the time. The framing is always, are they trying to control you or are they trying to empower you? And what do you think they're going to do by making your currency weaker and making you pay more taxes? They want you poor. They want you owning nothing and being happy. So what are we going to do out there? We are going to save in Bitcoin and be absolutely happy. So you already know why we do this, guys. Bitcoin is the way. These people don't have your best intentions. This is why we tell you this is an individual revolution, and you will have to make decisions for yourself that you think are the best for you and your family long term. Stop listening to these quote unquote authorities because they do not want the best for you. They literally tell you up front that they're going to steal everything they can from you, and you should be happy about it. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I don't know what else to add, Nico.
No, dude, you hit the nail on the head. Anyways, let's get to the next topic, right? This was very big news. And Opti, in an episode that we had some technical difficulties, we've been having a lot of technical difficulties. The last one, it was Opti that messed up. This time it was Nico that messed up because apparently, I don't know, something was happening with Restream. It wasn't live streaming correctly. We'll get better at it, guys. Bear with us. Anyways, this was very big news. Let me get to it. But first, I want to make the argument. I want to make the claim that everyone eventually bows down to the king. And the king, of course, is Bitcoin. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what country you are from. This is Jamie Dimon. He is the CEO of JP Morgan. Let's see what he says. This was dated October 2021. Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is worthless. Fast forward May 6, 2022, Jamie Dimon's JP Morgan says Bitcoin slide has created significant upside for crypto investors. Oh, look at that change of tune, right? But it's not only Jamie Dimon. Let me introduce you to Larry Fink. He is the CEO of BlackRock. BlackRock is one of the largest index funds in the world. If you look at any Fortune 500 company, BlackRock probably and most likely owns a percentage of them. And because they have so many assets under custody, so many equities, so many things under custody, they inherit that voting power as if they were the sole owners of that asset. So Larry Fink is an incredibly powerful and influential person. Let's see what he said October 13, 2017. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink calls Bitcoin an index of money laundering. Fast forward August 4th, 2022, BlackRock teams up with Coinbase in crypto market expansion. They say crypto, but if you go here, it clearly says initially it will be Bitcoin. So again, Bloomberg and their goddamn articles. Let me change it for them. BlackRock teams up with Coinbase in Bitcoin market expansion. Let's go back, shall we? October 13, 2017, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink calls Bitcoin an index of money laundering. So Bitcoin is undefeated. Jamie Dimon, wrecked. Larry Fink, wrecked. Anyways, let's get to the article. BlackRock Inc. is partnering with Coinbase Global to make it easier for institutional investors to manage and trade Bitcoin. Now, that part, you could skip over it. You're like, another Guys, back up and realize how big this thing is. BlackRock right now currently has, last year, 2021, had $10 trillion under management. Now it has 9.57 trillion with the T. It's a lot of potential capital that could possibly, and I expect because of Bitcoin's irresistible incentives, eventually flowing into Bitcoin. Taking the world's largest asset manager into a Bitcoin and shitcoin market hammered by plunging prices and government investigations, Coinbase surged 15% to $92.61 at 1:20 p.m. in New York. The partnership with BlackRock provides some relief for the biggest U.S. Bitcoin and shitcoin trading platform, whose stock has lost more than 2/3 of its value this year through Wednesday. Top BlackRock clients will be able to use its Aladdin investment management system to oversee their exposure to Bitcoin, along with other portfolio assets such as stocks and bonds, and to facilitate financing and trading on Coinbase's exchange, according to a statement Thursday. The focus of the partnership with Coinbase, the biggest U.S. crypto trading platform, will initially be on Bitcoin, BlackRock said. Hopefully it stays that way. BlackRock move deepens the involvement of Wall Street's traditional financial players in Bitcoin and shitcoins and related technologies. Even after this year's meltdown in such assets, Bitcoin has lost, of course, it's going to tell you Terra Luna is somehow connected to this, Three Arrows Capital, blah, blah, blah. They clump together the legacy financial media, the shitcoins and Bitcoin. Hopefully, Simply Bitcoin and all the other awesome Bitcoin content creators could slowly change that over time. Now, before you get too happy and excited, couple things. This isn't going to push the Bitcoin revolution. The Bitcoin revolution is people taking Bitcoin into self-custody. This is not that, right? This is, again, a custodian that says, hey, I'm buying Bitcoin through you. And they're doing it through the most evil crypto exchange in the world, which is Coinbase, right? Opti, you did a fail on this. So I want to ask you some questions. What is the downside to this? What is, because Larry Fink, like Diogenes the Great said in the chat, he is a really evil motherfucker. He is the main proponent. He was one of the main proponents of the whole ESG movement. That's him. That's Larry Fink. He's a huge globalist, right? He's not a good guy. So, Opti, what's your take, brother?
Well, I did cover this in the fail, guys. And if you're following me on Twitter, following the Simply Bitcoin Twitter account, you guys know what my quip was. BlackRock partners with Coinbase, and this is a match made in hell. We say it all the time on Simply Bitcoin that Brian Armstrong is an enemy of Bitcoin. He literally can't say Bitcoin. He is essentially trying to strangle the golden goose that is Bitcoin by pushing all these shitcoins. Like, his literal job is an attack on Bitcoin. He runs one of the biggest shitcoin casinos. He does everything possible he can to not put Bitcoin in good light, so that there is a vague possibility of shitcoins doing whatever, pumping or anything of this. But the biggest scare here, in my opinion, is the very real threat of rehypothecation. BlackRock, as you know, owns $10 trillion in assets under management. Guys, I don't know if you know big numbers, but trillion is 1,000 billion. Like, that's so much money. And if they put any of that into Bitcoin, yes, maybe it will pump our bags, guys. But this is not the type of bag pumping that you want, because they will rehypothecate the shit out of Bitcoin. And so many people are going to get wrecked if they use these custodial companies by these big corporations. This could very well be an attack on Bitcoin. And in my opinion, it's not that bullish, but like, yes, it's super bullish because, as I put in the show that we had to take down, rich people need something like BlackRock to make themselves feel comfortable and feel okay about investing in Bitcoin or saving in Bitcoin and all that good stuff. So, is this potentially going to look good for Bitcoiners in the future? Yes, it'll be inevitable that BlackRock got into Bitcoin, but this might be a good, some good signal for people out there that don't necessarily do their own research. They export their thinking to authority figures. So, will this give the green light for other people to potentially jump into Bitcoin? Yes. But again, as we tell you guys all the time, The revolution is self-custody. You want to get Bitcoin any way possible and put that into self-custody. You need to hold your own private keys because this is literally what we're here to do, to eliminate middlemen, to eliminate third-party trust, because they have taken that trust and they have shoved down their power down your throat. They have distorted the financial legacy system trust, and they are using it against you. So am I hyped on this? Not very much. Hey, will we see our bags be pumped? Probably, but the rehypothecation aspect of this is just, it's out of control. I know for a fact that that's what they're going to be doing. But furthermore, like we always say, Bitcoin incentives stay winning. So on the flip side, obviously bullish because Bitcoin incentives still work like we think they do. But the rehypothecation here, I think, is the biggest concern. And I'm just reminded of Matt Odell's tweet that I brought up. And he said, Coinbase rug pulling BlackRock might be the best timeline. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen out there, but I believe that we are in for a fun time in this timeline. So continue to push the sound money gospel. Continue to tell people to take their Bitcoin into self-custody, because we need to avoid these situations where big corporations can come in and corner the market and rehypothecate a lot of Bitcoin and then wreck retail investors out there when they eventually get rug pulled because they are recreating the financial system on the blockchain. Much innovation, big wow. Take your Bitcoin into self-custody.
Yep. Amen, brother. Preaching the Bitcoin gospel. Yeah, dude. It's such an evil company that it's like, but they also have, trillions of dollars. So it is bittersweet. This is a bittersweet moment. Might pump the bags a little bit, but also, do you really want these types of people? Do you really want Larry Fink holding Bitcoin? He should be the last person to adopt Bitcoin. That kind of should be your attitude on this. Take self-custody. If enough people we do it, we win. Oh, John says, I always love reading some of the chat. He says, speaking of taking custody of your coins, how to not halting withdrawals. Yes, we're going to get to that tomorrow, John. Don't worry. We got it. We got DJNOS the Great. Says, pay me, BlackRock, hold my bag. And I am building, Becca. Let's see. FTX on the World Economic Forum member list. Dude. Man. Yeah. I mean, didn't we see Sam Bankman with Bill Clinton in the Bahamas? Like, that's all you need to know. Anyways, guys, let's move on. It's time for
The Daily Fail.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best place to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. They incentivize dollar cost averaging. Spread out that risk, layer into Bitcoin, use it as a savings technology rather than speculation. Check out SwanBitcoin.com today. Awesome. Before you get to that, Opti, hold on. Let me tell everybody about Swan Bitcoin Conference, the Pacific Bitcoin Conference, thrown by Swan Bitcoin. It's November 10th through the 11th in sunny Los Angeles, California. Speaker lists include Corey Clipson, Jeff Booth, Dylan LeClaire, Pierre Richard, Mark Moss, Alex Gladstein, Guy Swan, and many, many more. Guys, we have a promo code that literally gets you 20% off your Pacific Bitcoin Conference tickets. You could use promo code SIMPLY for that discount. Anyways, Opti, it's all you, brother.
Let's go. All right, guys. So, as you can see on the screen, I did this tweet covering the news this weekend, and it's Bloomberg drops pro-Ethereum article shilling the benefits of proof of stake, the merge, and downplaying the risk of another meth hard fork. And as you can see, my commentary is Bloomberg, who pays you to post this garbage? Well, let's just get into this article first, and I will see who I believe is helping them push this garbage. Anyways, we have Buterin says any Ethereum miner migration won't slow merge. The software change will make the change more energy efficient. But there is some fear. So Vitalik, of course, says that the transition is unlikely to be significantly lifted, even if some miners gravitate to alternate chains. And then it starts talking about Ethereum Classics and how Ethereum Classic could be one of the biggest beneficiaries of the miner exodus. And then, of course, guys, before I get into this whole article, really focus on the framing of this article. As I said, pro-Ethereum shill article. So when you read this and hear this, you're going to hear a lot of the very framing of them framing Ethereum as being something more than it is. Anyways, Ethereum's upgrade is expected to impact earnings for as many as 1 million miners. Imagine being a miner on ETH right now. I would be worried as well. Anyways, here's a comment by Buterin, and I love this comment. I'm loving that they put this on Bloomberg. I don't expect Ethereum to really be significantly harmed by another fork. In general, my impression from pretty much everyone I talk to in Ethereum ecosystem has been completely supportive of the proof of stake effort, and the ecosystem has been quite united around it. Oh, you gotta love the shitcoin communities. The communities are so nice. They're so safe and they're so inclusive. I love the shitcoin communities.
Wait. Hold on, Opti. John says read it and Vitalik's voice.
I don't expect Ethereum to really be...
No, stop. Is that how he talks? How he talks?
I couldn't do justice to it, but... He does this thing where he talks very slowly to make it seem like he's smarter than he is. At least that's my perception. Anyways, Buterin's comments come ahead of a long-anticipated major software upgrade to the blockchain that aims to reduce the extensive energy use. The switch, which has become known as the merge, is viewed as the most ambitious technical chain in the blockchain world. Jesus. Oh, man. Anyways, Ethereum will switch from using miners, essentially powerful computers, to order transactions to using much more energy-efficient coin wallets run by so-called validators. The move to the new system called Proof of Stake has been worked on and delayed for years as scores of developers worldwide have kept on improving and testing the software to work out any bugs. Ethereum is the most important commercial highway in crypto, shitcoins, and any disruptions could cost billions and impact millions of users. Again, more than $40 billion is sitting in decentralized finance application on Ethereum. And then ETH, the native token of the network, has a market value of about 200 million, or less than half of that of better known rival Bitcoin. It's half the price, guys. Wow. Maybe it can get to Bitcoin's price. Amazing. Anyways, they do cover some of the classic issues that have happened. And this article, or this first sentence, historically, blockchain software upgrades have often been surrounded by disruptions. Yes, if your blockchain application is Ethereum. Guys, remember SegWit? I'm pretty sure that the network didn't stop when we upgraded that a few years ago. But hey, I don't know. Maybe I am just an average pleb that is reading into things. Anyways, they go into the DAO hack. That in 2016, a major hack happened and they had to reverse the whole chain. They had a hard fork. Anyways, I love this comment right here. Many crypto exchanges and other apps are expected to temporarily pause operations around the merge as a precaution. Remember that infamous meme of Vitalik? Guys, can you please stop trading? Now this is part of the protocol. Oh, we are going to just stop trading when we do this hard fork, just in case there is any problems. If you are holding ETH, if you are a miner, if you are anyone on the ETH chain, this should be a huge fucking concern. This is a huge red flag. But hey, I am a toxic, closed-minded Bitcoiner. Okay, anyways, if everything goes smoothly, a big if, no one should even notice that the merge has happened, says Tim Byko, who coordinates ETH developers, said in a recent interview with Bloomberg. And post-merge, Ethereum will consume about 99% less energy than it does today. There were these genuine arguments. Oh my God, I forgot this quote right here, guys. Vitalik, just amazing. Vitalik says there were these genuine arguments that, like, there were people in the Ethereum community that really believed in that immutability thing, just a little thing called immutability thing. Not a big deal, guys, but hey, a lot of them went to Ethereum Classic. Jesus. Classic already has superior community and superior product for people with pro proof of work values and preferences. No mention of Bitcoin anywhere here except for being the best known rival of ETH. It's not that we're not going to see a couple of splits on some markets in the meantime. And of course, Vitalik just hoping for the best. I hope that whatever happens doesn't lead to people losing money. I'm hoping for the best. You're so kind. You're so caring about the people over there. Our overlord and master techno kid, Vitalik. Anyways, guys, you've seen this before. I am Miyaguchi, the executive director of the Ethereum Foundation, on the World Economic Forum site as one of the participators of the forum. Well, someone dropped a really good comment on my Twitter on that post, and it made me look into it. So, of course, Bloomberg is a partner of the World Economic Forum. Who could have saw this coming? Obviously shocked, guys. Look at the face on me. I am shocked. Amazing. And then, of course, I got to add my bro, Dieter Bob, in here. And I asked Bloomberg, who pays you to post this garbage? I.e. Dieter Bob, of course, with the insight. It's literally paid marketing. 100% agree. This is paid marketing. As you can tell, they are in cahoots at the World Economic Forum. Now, right here, Nico, this I hope this doesn't nuke our channel, but someone dropped this, and I have to show it. I won't say anything more than just showing the comment. Demon's gonna demon. Follow the money.
All right, that's it. That's
That's enough.
What does that have to do with anything?
That they are in cahoots, and the people together at the top are they do not want what's best for you. This is what I'm trying to show you guys. You guys know what I mean when I tell you guys that the powers that be are working against you guys. I know, Nico, I know you're scared. I see you're getting red. He's like, Optimus is going wild and is going to nuke our channel. But
No, we didn't do anything.
I didn't do
bad,
anything wrong.
But
I'm adding all that. I know it's a little off ball, but I'm telling you guys, these people do not want the best for you. And as we showed you guys, they are all in cahoots to work to push the World Economic Forum message, which is what we've been telling you at the beginning of the show, is that they want you to own nothing and be happy. They have a certain narrative. Legacy media does not have your best intentions. They will literally release articles in a pseudo-intellectual way, but they are paid ads. Like, this is a paid shill article if I've ever seen one, and I think the proof is in the pudding that, you know, the WEEF, the ETH, and Bloomberg are all in cahoots to push a narrative against Bitcoin and freedom. So, Nico, I do have another fail in here if we have time, but give me your thoughts. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so look, bring up receipts, right? So, yeah, look, the World Economic Forum messaging is yo, nothing, be happy, right? Then I've played you videos many times on this channel, Build Back Better, Great Reset, all of that stuff, right, that you've heard 1,000 times. The infrastructure bill for the United States that was defeated, but they just passed some of the things that were in the infrastructure bill. You know what the name of the infrastructure bill was? Build Back Better, okay? So yes, the reason I cringe the way that I do is that because it's so ridiculous that you're just like, yeah, dude, this is some crazy conspiracy. But if you actually look at the data, if you actually look at the detail, they're not hiding it anymore. They're showing you. They're very upfront about it. Now, is it some crazy conspiracy where they're going to eat children and all that? Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. But I will tell you this. They definitely really believe that they know how to run your life better than you could run it yourself. These are central planners. That's what they are. Okay? And it's also not a coincidence that every single politician from the UK to New Zealand to the United States was all saying Build Back Better. That's not a coincidence. And it's not a coincidence that in part of the Build Back Better bill, which they couldn't pass, so they passed some of the things that was included in that bill. The one that just passed is literally called Reduce Inflation Act, in which They hire 87,000 IRS agents, they raise your taxes, and they print more money, which is going to cause even more inflation, which is going to make the rich even richer and the poor even poorer, right? So, if you look at the data, if you look at the facts, right? If you ignore the crazy Alex Jones stuff about the eating of the children and about a global communist takeover, you just put that aside. But you actually look at the words that they're using, right? These central planners fundamentally believe that they could run your life better than you could run it yourself. And by the way, they're not playing by their own rules. They're flying private jets left and right. So, yeah, just backing up Opti. He pulled a fastball on me.
Well, Nico, before we move on, let me get this fail because I really wanted to add this because it definitely adds to what we were just saying today. So we will go a little longer today, but I think this is a good point. So as you can see on the screen, this isn't Marty Bent that's the fail. He did this newsletter the other day. The social tipping point is here, and I loved it so much that I want to plug it in here because it adds perfectly to this site that I found over the weekend that I was going to cover on Saturday. Anyway, issue number 1246, the social tipping point is here. And he goes, they just fucked up so bad ruining the chans. It's like they exiled a bunch of internet Green Berets to every neighboring country to train proxy forces. So here we are. And he goes down and he's quoting this thread and it goes, it's strange how access to information has sped up the self-education of the general public to a point where I think it's becoming a problem for the ruling class. Maybe that's why they're becoming insane and trying to make the public discourse so insane. So keep that in mind as I show you this site. So I saw this weekend. UNESCO.org released this website and infographics, and the headline is hashtag think before sharing. Stop the spread of conspiracy theories. And I highlighted a few things, and it goes, based on the pandemic has sparked a worrying rise in disinformation and conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories can be dangerous. They often target and discriminate against vulnerable groups, ignore scientific evidence, and polarize society with serious consequences. This needs to stop. Conspiracy theories cause real harm to people, to their health, and also to their physical safety. They amplify and legitimize misconceptions about the pandemic and reinforce stereotypes which can fuel violence and violent extremist ideology, says the UNESCO Director General. So they dropped a new campaign, which helps you learn how to debunk conspiracy theories. And man, look, I clicked on a few of these just so that you can see what their messaging looks like. And if this is not an example of what I just told you at the beginning of this fail, I really don't know what it is, because look at these infographics, guys. They are trying to meme. And as you know, they can't meme when they don't have the truth on their side. So let's just go into this a little bit. So what are they? What's the conspiracy theories? The belief that events...
Hold on a second. So yeah, when it comes to the pandemic and whatever, we're not going to get into the intricacies.
No, this isn't about that. In my opinion, this is them using that as a cover to spread the quote-unquote idea that there's conspiracy theories out there and conspiracy theorists out there that are hurting people, and that it is your job to counter them. So as you can see, I'm just going to go into a little bit of this stuff and look at some of these 6 things in common: alleged secret plot, a group of conspirators, quote unquote evidence that seems to support the conspiracy. They falsely suggest that nothing happens by accident, that there are no coincidences. Nothing is as it appears and everything is connected. They divide the world into good or bad, and they scapegoat people or groups. Let's just continue on. This is what I tell you guys all the time, and I think we cover this almost every single day, but I love this framing. Look, check the author. Who is writing this? And as they say, it's likely a conspiracy if the author is a self-proclaimed expert and not attached to a reputable organization or institution, or the author claims to have credentials, but they don't withstand scrutiny or are suspended. And of course, there's more infographics in here on how you should counter conspiracy theories and what you should look for. Again, this is the same little infographics. And they're sharing these, guys. This is them trying to meme the truth. And as you can see on the screen, like, they are essentially saying that if it's not coming from an official source, if the information isn't coming from an official authority, then it isn't true. This is literal Big Brother type doublespeak. Like, oh, trust the party and only the party is giving you information. But hey, look, we are just average people. We can't think for ourselves. You know, we don't know what's best. We have no brains besides what someone else is telling you. And if I have to make it really TLDR, like, it's very obvious that this is a fail, guys, because we know very well that this is an information war. So what do they have to do? They have to give you some easy sound bites, some easy digestible memes so that you can try to spread them so that you can go counter all the FUD on the internet, because there's so many conspiracy theories out there. And it's like, it's absolutely atrocious that the powers that be, the parasites at the top, can be this willfully detached from everyone. They are absolute psychopaths and narcissists, and they know this. Like, I'm being hyperbolic. I apologize, Nico, but yo, this is the stuff that gets me livid. Like, I know what's best for me. How are you to tell me that I don't know what is right from wrong? I fundamentally believe that I have a brain and I know what is right from wrong, and I can decipher for myself what information is right and wrong based on the truth and the facts behind this. Amazing. I know, Nico. I know. I went far out, but yo, I'm doing what is interesting me. I will rein it in when I need to. Dude, if I touch the lines, let me know.
Go for it. Yeah, no, the YouTube thing is just don't talk about the pandemic, which we didn't. And you know, and election stuff, which we did it as well. So we're good. Now, okay, so let's talk about this, right? The fundamental problem, right, is that the internet disintermediated information, right? Before, governments were able to co-opt a couple institutions and keep a narrative. For example, you know, there's only a handful of, to use their words, reputable newspapers. There's only a handful of reputable TV channels, right? The internet gave anybody and their mother, anybody with the microphone, the ability to broadcast worldwide, right? And it gave a bunch of people the ability to communicate freely. Now, that is a big problem for governments, right? Because think about it this way. In 2003, when they used the New York Times to convince everybody about weapons of mass destruction, if the internet was around, that would be very difficult to try to convince people of that narrative, because the internet gives the ability for people to talk back, right? To speak back. So yeah, this is an attempt. We saw by the Biden administration, they tried to implement the Ministry of Truth, or a version of it, right? With the Department of Homeland Security. And in Europe, they're trying to do the same thing. Now, here's the thing, guys. You would give them the benefit of the doubt if they didn't lie, but these are the same people. They want you to trust the same people that told you there is no inflation, it isn't real, it's caused by Putin, it's caused by supply chains, and none of them have talked about the actual cause. So don't blame us, peasants and deplorables, for trying to do our own research, because the official sources, all they've done is gaslight and lie. And that is undeniable at this point, which is why they're resorting to censoring. This is why they're resorting to deplatforming, because they can't have individuals forming their own thoughts. That is very bad for them, right? So yeah, Opti, there's definitely a lot of truth with what you're saying. This is something that's really important to us. Guys, the fight for free speech is the fight for Bitcoin. Why? If they don't allow you to say certain things, what makes you think they're going to allow you to transact with whoever you want? It's the front line for the battle for Bitcoin. The front line battle of free speech is giving Bitcoin cover. If they go and co-opt free speech, inevitably they will try to co-opt a system that allows you to transact with anybody freely. And one of the most powerful forms of speech is money, right? So yeah, good stuff, Opti. But anyways, let's move on to the best part of the show. Time for it.
The Daily Meme Review.
Brought to you by Citadel 21. It's the best Bitcoin cultural zine. It's stories, articles, comics by actual Bitcoiners. This is the artwork for Volume 10. This is the artwork for Volume 11. And this is the artwork for Volume 2. Volume 2 is almost sold out because there's only 1,000 physical copies made per volume. Get your prints of Citadel 21 today before they run out. All right.
All right. Well, I am here to do the meme review, and I saw Nico checking this one out behind the scenes, so I'm already sure that he's sweating. But let's get into this, guys.
Oh, God.
Of course, guys. Send your meme review scores in the chat, and we will read them after I get done with the meme. So the first one is by @eCommunistForum, and I had to put this one in considering I knew what all the topics of today were. And I think, memes, as we tell you all the time, the memes paint a picture that you can never put in writing. So memes are an important part of this warfare, guys. You are battling with the memes. Anyways, again, eCommunistForum goes, and then we'll tell them we'll bring down inflation by printing loads more money and making energy more expensive. #Inflation Reduction Act. And we got Biden and Club having a grand old time laughing at the plebes. Anyways, another one on the Inflation Reduction Act tip. We have the template of a guy drowning, and usually it's a Bitcoin maximalist or someone tapping the hand. But we have basically all of the world, considering that the dollar is the world reserve currency. He's drowning. And what does the government do to help the American citizens? It adds a cup of water into the water to help with inflation, and you just drown more. And of course, I had to add this meme with Big Sean Harrods because it puts the pin on those last two memes perfectly. Burr is the god of Keynesians, and we got the almighty Burr god here. And who do we have here bowing down? We got Bernanke, we got Keynes, we got Krugman, we got Yellen, we got Powell, we got Kelton. Burr, the almighty god of Keynesians. And then, as we told you in the show about inflation and the Inflation Reduction Act, we got this tweet by @NoMasterNoRuler, and it goes, inflation, what it is. 1, expansion of the money supply. Burr. Inflation, what it isn't. Rising prices, corporate greed, and Putin. Nico said literally that same thing in the news section, guys. Now you have it in a meme form. That was not planned, but this is the way. Anyways, since I did bring up Ethereum today, I had to throw in some shitting on ETH memes. It's just, this is the way. Anyways, shout out to Super Alkaline, Mr. Satoshi, and he goes, #Bitcoin only, and of the bike template meme. 70% pre-mined shitcoin ICO, passes the test. Damn, Bitcoiners distasteful, ignorant, grotesquely, and short-sightedly self-serving. Yes, Bitcoin maxis are just so close-minded. I'm so close-minded about my monetary policy. I do not want you messing with it, Vitalik. Anyways, another one by @Fractal Encrypt. ETH after the merge. And as you can see, it's a basketball court that is not a normal basketball court. It is all messed up, and the one court is on normal, and the other one's off to the side because this ETH, it's a monstrosity over there. And then, look, this is not a usual meme, but I had to add this in here because this blew my mind. Maybe we can talk about it on the numbers another day, but this absolutely blew my mind, guys. Remember how we've been telling you that we are most likely in a recession, that they can tell you there is no inflation, they can tell you that there is no recession. Well, look at this chart right here, and we have the S&P 500 index from 2001, 1937, and 2008, overlaid under the S&P 500 index that we are right now in white. And if you look at what is going on, guys, it is looking like we are in trouble, and they can't hide anymore because the numbers are proving them wrong. Guys, we tell you all the time, just continue to stay humble and stack sats, because who knows how long they can kick this can down the road. But it doesn't look pretty out there, and we will continue to spread this message, guys, because it's scary out there, man. It is looking like this is the realest chart you can see on the internet right now. Anyways, my score for today's meme review is this bottle of African Royale for your hair and your skin. If you know, you know.
By the way, my mom watched the show and she told me to give you she's like, Optimus has to fix his hair. So, Mom, if you're watching,
yes,
I just told him. Yes,
Mama Nico, I know. I've been getting hate for my hair. That's why I'm wearing a hat today, Mom. I'll make sure my hair is nice.
He needs to. He is so handsome. He needs to fix his hair. That's the feedback. Anyways,
noted.
So guys, while I give the score, this is the meme review, so rate the meme in the comment section. Make Opti feel uncomfortable. If you're new to the show, very simple. You give the memes a score. It could be anything. It's really up to you. I'm going to give it, and this is for Becca. I'm going to give it 2 Nico's Mysterious Journals. Not just 1, 2. What's in here? Maybe I'll reveal it to you guys as the days goes by. I don't know. But anyways, oh god damn you, BTC pins. I give those memes Nico's mom. Ah, ha 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 ha. Bitcoin Becca, I score those memes with 780 billion deflated basketballs. Let's see. Bitcoin Becca. Oh my god, the list is getting so long. And Becca says she agrees with the hair.
I'll do it for you. Hey, Becca, I am building good hair.
Just building good hair. Opti's building good hair. So anyways, guys, if you have more scores, drop it in the comment section. If not, going once, going twice, going 3 times. All right, Opti, let's move on. There was a software release, I think, today.
Bitcoin software release.
Oh, right, Opti.
Beautiful, beautiful. I don't have it uploaded over here, guys, so you're gonna have to look at my face, or Nico will get it up for you guys.
I got it. We got LND.
I have it. I just don't have the screen. It's I usually have the screen for you guys. So, but today's software release is Lnbits version 0.91. Definitely go use Lnbits, guys. I really like this project. I think it's a really awesome project for like an Uncle Jim model. They're doing really cool stuff over there. There's some hot fixes and some extensions and stuff over here, but it says on-chain wallet and SatsPay server updates. So they are building in the bear market, but of course, make sure you listen to us on Google, Spotify, Anchor, and of course, if you think we are providing value for you guys day in and day out, stream us some sats on Fountain. We appreciate all the love. Hope you have a good day. Anyways, Nico, let's roll this one out.
Yep. All right, guys, before we go, I want to give a very special shout out to our awesome sponsor, CypherSafe. Don't be that person that stores their seed on paper. Paper is water prone. It's fire prone. It's dog prone. Paper just sucks. Like, it's not going to last long. So you definitely want to put your seed on metal. And there's no other place to do it than the Cypher Wheel or the Cypher Grid, both of which you can get on CypherSafe.io. I also want to give a very special shout out to our clothing sponsor. Opti and I wear the hoodies and the merch every single day. Opti, show off your t-shirt. I'm wearing the camo hoodie. Opti's wearing the t-shirt. He's making Bitcoin merch. He's made Bitcoin merch. I think it's sold out by now because of how awesome it is. And of course, he is making Simply Bitcoin merch. It's coming soon. I'll show it to you guys when it's ready. Guys, that was our live show. No, we had a little bit of technical difficulties today because of the live stream. I want to give a very special thanks to Jacob from Swan that does the spaces with us. I also want to give a special thanks to Hans. He does a lot of our research. Shout out to you, brother. Guys, that was our show. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, it's a live show. We will make mistakes. Bear with us. But it's a live show, so you can see those mistakes in real time, and that adds to part of the magic. Guys, if you really enjoyed the show, if you felt like this show provided value, we appreciate it. It really helps us if you hit the like button. And of course, if you really, really like us, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We do record a new show every single day, Monday through Saturday. 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have it set up for you guys a little bit better than today. But guys, we love you. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you on the next one.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.